Hi, third graders. Hi, my other friends. I hope everyone's having a great day today. I wanted to come on so we could continue our class read aloud, The War with Grandpa. And the last chapter that we ended was when Peter and his grandpa, they were going for a walk. And it finally came out that Grandpa said, "No, I'm not giving back your room." And Peter was getting kind of angry and saying things he shouldn't be saying, and Grandpa came around and slapped his face, and that got Peter really angry. So angry that he said this war is not over, and then Peter started walking as fast as he could to get home while his face was burning. So, and Grandpa was standing there on the street calling out his name. So we're going to start with chapter 23, which is titled Timeout for Jenny. Here we go. Well, now we had a real war going, and I didn't like it one bit. I'm really not too good at being mad at someone. My mom says that I have a good heart and I never hold a grudge. This is true. Even in the past, when my parents or Jenny did something that really made me mad and ticked me off, I always forgot about it by the next day. So there I was at dinner that night, sitting across from Grandpa, and I really wanted to hate him for slapping me, but I couldn't. I mean, he was my grandfather, for heaven's sake. He was old and alone, and his leg hurt him. I would have to be as mean as Darth Vader to hate him. Grandpa was really lively at dinner. He even told a couple of jokes that nobody had heard before. He smiled and talked to me too, but I couldn't tell if he really meant it or not. Was this the same man who slapped me across the face only a few hours ago? I was so confused. So we had a regular evening that night, in spite of the mixed up feelings that I had. After dinner, we settled down in the living room, and Grandpa got out his box of dominoes and began to set them up for a game with my dad. Jenny disappeared for a few minutes and then came marching down the steps from her room wearing her tutu. Now, in case you've never heard or seen one of those before, which I never did until my mom bought her one, let me tell you about a tutu. It's this little skirt that must have wires or something in it because it sticks out in a circle whenever a girl wears it. And Jenny's, hers was pink. How she got it was by being obnoxious because Mom didn't want to buy it for her until she had more than 1 year of ballet under her belt. But Jenny, she's very different than me. I'm the kind of person, well, I would have waited a year, just like my mom said. Not Jenny. She went on a campaign for a tutu that was disgusting. She talked about it morning, noon, and night. She cried when she had to go for her ballet lessons. She told Mom that all the other girls had a tutu, which was a complete lie, of course. She even threw herself down on the floor and had a temper tantrum. I mean, she kicked her heels on the floor and yelled her head off until my mom made her quit. When that didn't succeed, Jenny started working on Dad. She got him alone at all different times, would climb up on his lap, smother him with kisses like a little puppy licking your face. She just kept sweet-talking Dad and being so lovey-dovey to him. It would make you sick. So what happened was, Dad then spoke to Mom. And Jenny, she got her tutu. And it wasn't even Christmas or her birthday. Jenny went to the stereo and put on a CD of The Dance of the Hours. "Ladies and gentlemen," she announced, like she was on a big stage, "presenting the world's most beautiful ballerina, Miss Jennifer Stokes." Then she let the CD begin to play, which she had heard maybe 14 zillion times already. But Mom, Dad, and Grandpa, especially Grandpa, sat back and applauded like they had never seen Jenny dance before. What she did was jump around on her toes an awful lot, and every once in a while, she stretched her arms way up over her head like she was trying to reach for something on the top shelf of her closet. Sometimes she kind of just stood around on one foot with the other one trailing off behind her. Posing that way, she kind of looked like a small stork or a large chicken. Also, she hopped. She was supposed to be leaping, I think, but Jenny could only manage to get a few inches off of the floor, and at the end, she scrunched herself into a little bundle on her knees and lifted her arms up and smiled as the music ended. Well, of course, the grown-ups went bananas when she finished. "Bravo!" Dad shouted as they all were clapping their hands. I noticed he didn't shout encore. I applauded too, mostly to be polite. Sometimes it's very hard to be the older brother. So a few things there. I don't know if you've made any connections, but if you're an older sibling, sometimes you probably know that sometimes it's kind of hard to be in that position. I know that I'm the older sibling. My brother's younger than me, and growing up, and even still now today, sometimes it's harder to be that older kid. One word is said that the dad did not say encore. Encore is saying like, do it again, do it again. So that was kind of a funny part. The dad didn't say encore, and I don't think he wanted to see it a second time. Chapter 24, a dirty trick. I think I was finally getting a little smarter about my war with Grandpa. Perhaps I'd been following the advice of my friends a little too much. And maybe I had been telling them too much about what was going on. Blabbing my head off would be more like it, honestly. So when Steve and Billy, they came to play Monopoly at my house, I didn't tell them anything about the slap in the face from my grandpa. Let me tell the truth about it. I was also kind of ashamed. We were all upstairs in my room, my new horrible and totally gross room, not my old wonderful beautiful room. So this is where they put you, huh? Steve said, looking around. This is definitely not an improvement. This stinks, Billy said. Well, I'm getting used to it, I said. Any action yet? Billy asked. I shook my head. Oh, this war's over then, Steve said. Just say it, just as I predicted. You're a loser, Billy said. He was sitting on the floor on one of the little braided rugs in front of my bed. I really like your old room better. It was a little more roomier, and it had a lot more light, and it didn't have a gross smell. Smell? I said. What smell? Don't you smell it? Billy asked. He was wrinkling his nose like a rabbit and sniffing. Smells okay, I said. Steve, you don't smell anything, do you? Do you? Steve took a breath through his nose. Yes, he said. He waited for a moment, looking at Steve, but he didn't say anything more. Yes, you do, or yes, you don't, Billy asked. Oh, I smell something, of course, Steve said. My senses are working on me now. Your old what are working on you? I don't smell an old factory in here. It kind of smells more like cheese. Oh, you're smelling, right? Your nose and smelling glands, you're sensing it now, aren't you? Precisely, I am. Well, let's just go play Monopoly, I said before their discussion of my room smelling got any further. Sometimes Steve could be a pain in the neck, and sometimes he really teased Billy too much. I went to my toy cabinet and took out the Monopoly game. Steve sat down on the floor next to Billy. I'm going to be the banker, I said. Of course, Billy said. Pete, you are always the banker, Steve said, and he always wins. What does that mean, I said. Steve shrugged. Nothing. He said it in a way that sounded like it meant a lot more than nothing. Can we just play for Pete's sake? Billy said. I sat down on the floor with the guys and set the game down in front of me. Then I took off the cover. Then I saw something so unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. The Monopoly board was in the box all right, but there was nothing else. There was no money. There was no playing pieces. There were no properties. There were no rules. But there was a little folded up piece of paper. So I unfolded it. It was a note, and it was printed with a ballpoint pen. And this is what the note said. 2 can play at this game, but you can't play this game now. And down below it was signed, The Old Man. Oh my goodness. So the grandpa just wrote him a note. Oh my gosh, he put him a note. He took all the game pieces and he said, 2 can play this game at war, but now you can't play this game, as in Monopoly. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. It'll be a couple days. On Monday, I'll come on and I'm going to share chapter 25. And it's titled, And Dirty Words. So we're going to have to find out what is going to take place now that Peter's trying to play this game, but now his grandpa is in this game of war. Oh my. I hope you're having an awesome day. Thinking of you. Miss you more than you know. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I'll come on soon. And have a great day. Bye, guys.